Deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
Come on, Ian. 1 second, folks. Just as I'm about to start, let me make sure everything is spot on and perfect. Yep. Let's start again. People, Deluded, I'm back again as usual. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, in some cases good night. If you're on YouTube, smash the like button. If you're on Twitch, make sure you subscribe with Amazon Prime and big up yourselves. Now, in relation to the title, we know we're 24 hours or just over 24 hours away from playing Real Madrid in the second leg of the Champions League quarterfinal. Simply put, get the job done. You know, if there's one lesson, as good as it was and one of the best nights in Emirates history, or where European nights are concerned, one of the best fixtures in some of these players' careers and actually the manager, if there's one thing we should learn is expect the unexpected. We won 3-0. I'm not saying Real Madrid are going to come back, but we need to keep both feet on the ground. Obviously, it's difficult to not imagine going through to the next round, but we need to keep the job done. Now, I don't know if you can approach the second leg for both teams, actually, how the first leg was played. I'm sure there's a lot of tweaks and changes. Carlo and Mikel would deploy, obviously, after learning a bit. But I want us to approach the same way. Have nothing but respect for Real Madrid. But then after that, do your job. Take your chances. If there's a moment of individual brilliance, have the confidence to do it, you know, because I do think that was actually beyond everything. That's what I liked from the first leg, in that clearly we've known for a while the players do care. They are competitive. Our top 6 record reflects that. We went out to Bayern Munich last season, but it wasn't what it used to be in terms of European nights of old. So we can compete. The manager can deploy some tactics. We can match up statistically, or how football goes by the book. But then you do need that healthy bit of randomness, that magic, that stuff off the cuff. Obviously, typically Bukayo Saka brings that, but I'm specifically referring to Declan Rice in that. He said he felt, let me go for the free kick. He was told to cross it. I'm not criticizing Martin Odegaard or the coaching staff, because 9 times out of 10, Declan Rice does not score that goal, or crossing probably does relate to a goal. But in games like that, in the Champions League, you do need that randomness. You do need that off the cuff. You do need protagonists. You do need players to kind of smell it and sense it and go for things of that ilk. So that's something I like. So let's expect the unexpected. I think we need another goal. I'm not going to lie, man. You know, as much as we do this whole Real Madrid and, you know, the aura and all of these things are true, and they're definitely going to need to prove it more now than they ever have. And they're doing a bit like what Arsenal did, you know, going into it. Obviously, the atmosphere will play a massive part. Going into the Real Madrid game, our players were talking about atmosphere. You saw what great from the fans and all the atmosphere in the Emirates, and I felt it was somewhere in watching it on TV or at TalkSport. It was it felt like it was one of them. You know, when you watch them Europa or Champions League games in Eastern Europe, you know, with the mad fans and whatnot, that's what it looked like. Real Madrid are taking a leaf out, not even taking a leaf out of our book. They're going to, obviously the players have to be the ones playing, but they're going to feed off the fans' energy levels in the same way we've done that, not just against Real Madrid, but probably since Mikel Arteta has come in, and he knows that. And actually, when you look at, ironically, former Arsenal loanee Dani Ceballos, when you read between the lines, you keep hearing anyone connected to Real Madrid first 15, 20 minutes. Obviously, that sets the tone. You get one goal early, the fans are going to be up against it. If you get one, you get two, then it's a case of Arsenal. And I think they're going to get a dodgy penalty. I've seen the script before. I think we need another goal, but we're going to go over all of that, man. Big up you lot tuned in. Camstar, appreciate you. Ibrahim, one love. In the circle, my favorite cabbie in London, appreciate you. Like you said, just get the job done, bro. Just get the job done. It's hard not to dream and think about potentially winning the Champions League or getting through to the next round. And is it going to be Aston Villa, Paris Saint-Germain? What's Barca saying? What's Munich saying? Do we want to play Inter or not? And all of these kind of things. So we just have to be prepared for everything, man. Like, just go out there and get the job done. Don't care how you do it, by hook or by crook. You don't even necessarily, I don't want to put this in the air, but you don't necessarily smash the like button. You don't necessarily have to win the game on the night, but you do have to win the tie. One more goal makes me think it's all right. It's calm. And to be honest with you, yes, we've got great tactics. They've got great tactics. But you look at Kylian Mbappe, you look at Vinicius, you look at this one, that one. If anybody had the capacity to get 3 goals in their team, it would be them. But yeah, man, Abdullah, one love, man. We need to score early and withstand the initial onslaught. Odegaard needs to step up. Odegaard does need to step up. And again, we're going to have to box cleverly. I wouldn't say we was really under pressure against Real Madrid. I think we controlled the majority of the game, but I would say there was a 5 to 10 minute stage in the first half where we weren't under the cosh, but we was in our own half, etc., etc. There's probably going to be a lot more of that. It's going to have to be the nastiest low, deep, and mid blocks, if I'm honest with you. Don't let Rodrigo have freedom. Man's going to do amazing madness tonight. Tomorrow, but I hear you, man, like DG, big 30, well gone. Marcel, big up yourself, my Killian, appreciate that. Manny, appreciate the belated message as well, my dude. If you can say if about any number of possibilities, the spectrum is huge, but no reason to think they're going to score. I think they'll score. I'll be amazed if for 180 minutes we keep 2 clean sheets against Real Madrid. They have never scored against us. We're going to get onto it. But you know, when you talk about Real Madrid and the Rotunda and all of those kind of things, where did it, just from reading, I'll read the article with you lot, where did that come from? Ironically, when they overcame a 3-goal deficit against a British side, didn't it? And obviously, they're 3-0 down. Everyone thinks Real Madrid are down and out. The point I just made about being 3 goals down, never beaten Arsenal, never scored against Arsenal. The script is going to be a great one for Arsenal fans, Real Madrid fans, and I'd say the biggest benefactors from that game is obviously going to be the neutrals. I think it'd be naive if you don't expect Real Madrid to score at least 1 goal. Of course, I hope to be wrong. I don't know why I feel it, but I need enough one. I just think 4 and I'm cool. We don't need to score at all. It would settle nerves, but it's not a requirement. Well, statistically, it's not. We're winning 3-0, but it would help settle nerves. It does make their task a bit difficult. I think it's naive if anyone thinks we're going to rock up at the Bernabeu and just have to camp and actually be able to if we camp for 90 minutes, we are going to be exposed. It just takes 1 goal, 1 player to not feel like something's going on. So we'll have to see. And I would say the biggest thing for me is I hope Mikel Arteta is playing a bit of a game. I'm sure Partey and these lot will want to play, but I do want to see the likes of Benjamin White and Partey in the side in some capacity. I think we're going to need everyone. Big up the members, then P1 love, man. The key to get through depends on how Arteta sets up the team. We can't just park the bus. We should play the same way as the first leg. If Partey is injured, then Rice in the, I think you mean 6, and Marino in the 8. Naturally, there's that, but then who goes up front? Do you go with Martinelli? I don't think Arteta is going to do that. And I think with that, I don't think it's a game to really try stuff. I would say if, God forbid, if Partey is not available, then yeah, you're bang on the money. Rice and Marino, you'd love to have Havertz or Jesus fit, but Rice, Marino, obviously Odegaard, that'd be a midfield. I'd put Trossard through the middle, man. Trossard through the middle, Martinelli off the left, and obviously Saka off the right. Sterling to play striker, hat-trick incoming. Would love that, man, and it would be great. But yeah, I can't see that happening. Do you feel old? Yes and no, because, you know, some of you older than me are probably saying he's tweaking. Yes and no. I'd say it sounds dumb. I feel about 30. I think I said it in my thing. I think I turned 30 like September last year. Like, I guess so. I feel clarity, if that answers anything. Like, I'm assured of myself. I'm assured. I think I've got a lot of life experiences now. Like, if that makes sense. Like, I'm just that, if it makes sense, man. The longer it goes scoreless, the more they'll throw the kitchen sink. Opportunities would then appear to counter, and that's what we need, man. Exactly. You see, obviously, no 2 games are the same, but you see what led to us conceding, obviously, with the corner or the phase of play with Saka losing the ball and them going down the other end. Or when Rice was counter-attacking and he set up Partey, we need one of them. Man said DG looks 70 but feels 30, mentality monster. Or some people say I look young, some people say I look old. Some of the comments say I look old and young at the same time. It's crazy, man. It is what it is. Happy birthday, rants, man. But yeah, the longer it goes on, the more the prerogative is for them to throw the kitchen sink. And it's not just these lot, but because of Declan Rice's ability to carry the ball from one end to the other, obviously Saka's magic, and there's other players. If one of them can just do something great, and to be honest with you, God forbid, but if Real Madrid go through, nobody deserves it more than Courtois, man, because it's mad, innit? We scored 3 goals, and I wouldn't say I'm unhappy, but we could have had about 20, man. And I would say, just in terms of being a bit better, like nitpicking at 1-2 things, people, if I'm honest with you, you see Marino's goal. I think there was more clear, 2 screamers from Rice going down in folklore, but there was more capacity to just score some tap-ins. And if I look at the beginning, I think everybody focuses on Kivio, but I think a number of players early in that first leg, giving the ball away cheaply. I'm not criticizing, I'm just commenting on what happened, whether it's nerves or rustiness or you need to grow into the game. I don't know, but Partey, Timber, Saliba, Bukayo Saka, Kivio. If we were trying to get those couple percentages, can we do better? Now put MLS in the 18 left back. That left side will be nice. Marino floating in the false 9, dragging centre backs into midfield. I hear that, and you know what? That's a good shout. I don't think we're gonna see Martinelli up front or Lewis Skelly playing midfield. Well, he basically is in midfield anyways, but organically in the starting 11, I don't. Maybe Arteta is going to be forced to because we don't know the status. I think he's it'd probably be one for tomorrow, people. But I think the press conference is at 6 o'clock, 6:15ish UK time. So if I'm Mikel Arteta, I'm keeping my cards close to my chest, but I'm sure he'll provide some clarity. Morning, my brother. Saka is better than Vinny. That fraud said he was going to be 10 times better this season, but man's gotten 10 times worse. Listen, big up Bukayo Saka, big up Vinicius, man. Like, I'm a big fan of both of them. Benji, appreciate you. Saliba made a goal line clearance for Madrid in the first leg. Man's already making plans on how to defend for Madrid. We had a couple of chances. We probably could have scored a bit more in it. Trossard, Saka, Nelly, pace to keep them. But then again, who you got on the bench? Yeah, you've got Sterling. Whether he's going to be utilised or not is another thing. If I'm looking at Arsenal's bench and we assume that there's no Partey, there's no Ben White, whoever has to play, has to play. You're looking at, I would probably say, Nwaneri and Tierney in terms of however you need to approach the game in whatever capacity. I'm not sure. Badly need Partey giving Chewers back for them. Any watch-alongs today? Yeah, we'll be watching Aston Villa against Paris Saint-Germain live from 7:50, 10 minutes before kickoff. Partey in training looks good and fit. I'd said it at the time in that, naturally, when Partey went down, we was doing a watch-along. When Partey went down against Brentford, you're like, ooh. And I don't even know his injury, but it looked like he was holding his shin. So I'm not sure. The only thing that made me nervous is Mikel Arteta saying we weren't expecting it and all these things. And you just never know with Arteta. Sometimes he makes you think a player is going to be available and they're not. Sometimes they're not going to be available and then they are. You just never know, man. But let's just get the job done, man. But we do badly need Partey. That was then. This is now. Play the game, not the occasion. Exactly. Like, we obviously know we won the first leg. We know it's Real Madrid. We know the ramifications of winning and losing. But for me, just play the game, innit? You're playing Real Madrid. Some of you, if you some of you will leave, either be at Arsenal or go elsewhere and play in games of this magnitude. Some of you will never play against Real Madrid and all of that. Like, I'm not trying to gas up Madrid, but that is a career highlight in itself. Playing against Madrid and obviously how it panned out. Same approach again. Same mindset, same psychology. Don't let your hard work drop. You know, you worked hard, you controlled the controllables. It does look like Villa are going to sign that Nypan guy. We're going to go over all of that, man, but I'm enjoying you lot's conversation. I don't think Arteta will start Partey even if he's available. We've seen him do this BS before. Can you afford not to? Because do you really want to make more moving pieces? Can you afford not to? If you were going to gamble on Partey, and I know player welfare, all of that, but if you was going to gamble on a game for Thomas Partey to play, it's now, in it, really and truly. Now I fit Partey plays 100% abs. Bro, we need him. You know, take nothing away from Declan Rice, but Declan Rice stole the show, rightly so, for good reason with his goals. But Partey was absolutely superb. And to be fair with you, in our draw against Brentford, I think both of them done well, to be honest with you. I'm watching Arsenal women. Then after it finishes, I'll watch the end of the Champions League game. P, appreciate you. So yeah, we'll have to see. Only that formation if Uncle TP is not available. We need him available, man. You see why we need to dip into the market and do what we need to do because if we're in this scenario next season, as romantic as it is, I need to see a striker. I don't really want to see centre mids playing up front, a makeshift back five, a weakened bench. And again, it's not a thing this year, but could you imagine we were still in and amongst the Premier League title race? Like, we don't have the squad sustainable. And I would say naturally we ran out of steam in it. January and what's followed, we ran out of steam. I think the Real Madrid game kind of put some petrol back in the car and we're kind of driving. Obviously, we had a flat tire against Brentford, or the electric car turned off, and we got to go again, man. We got to go again. If I share my screen, please make sure you're smashing the like button. Allegedly, Real Madrid have confirmed the roof will be closed for the game against Arsenal. And I think this Twitter account said it best. Rice cooks better when the lid is on. Why is the stadium closing? Is it to make us feel even more trapped in? Is it to lock in the atmosphere? I don't know why the roof is closing, people. But naturally, a bit like we did it. We did it going into this game. We did the whole atmosphere. We need everyone at it, arrive early, do all of that. Naturally, Real Madrid are going to do that. They're going to do that. And it's a great stadium to be playing in, isn't it? So I want my players above everything. Relish it, man. This is what you lot dreamed of doing, both when you were young, aspiring footballers, to obviously when we're starting to take in this project. You want to be like this. And for some of you that I think can be at this club on a long-term basis, we need to get comfortable playing in games of this magnitude. Now, not to gas up the other teams, but you look at City and Liverpool. Obviously, Real Madrid's a massive game. If they were winning 3-0, there's a lot of intangibles, right? But they've been here, they've done it, they wore the t-shirt, and it's a learning curve. I think based on the first leg against Bayern Munich last year and the first leg this year against Real Madrid, I think there were some learned experiences, if that makes sense. If there is anything, and I've said it before, I think it's the away games that I think were a bit nervy. Just in my opinion, I think we were better at Bayern Munich. We were better at our place than Bayern Munich's. So yeah, like I think we got a bit of stage fright in Germany. I think we got a bit of stage fright in Portugal when we overcame that against Porto. If I'm honest, going back to the Europa League game, different contexts, and the damage was done at the Emirates, but at their place, it weren't really the best of performances. So that's where we're gonna have to learn, if I'm honest with you. But we've got every reason to believe, but we've got to go out there and do it in it really and truly. And you know what? It was a week ago today, actually, last week. Blood. It does not make sense. It doesn't make sense, man. It really doesn't make sense. We're going to need the nastiest of dark arts. Arteta, I know you've got a spell for us. We're going to need the most horrible of dark arts deployed, man. Carlos said, we have to believe we can pull off a comeback, or what's the point? Arteta said it wasn't about believing. Believing isn't enough. Now, both of their things are being taken out of context, but believing isn't enough in theory. And Carlo is saying that this isn't in direct reply to people. I think this is social media doing what social media does, but it does give you food for thought. Mikel Marino said, if I could stop one Real Madrid player from playing, it would be Rodrigo. We got Timber for that, man. We got Timber and Lewis Kelly for them thing there, man. I like him a lot. He's so good. He does so well in between the lines, and they're going to have to do that tomorrow, innit? Marcelo said, Real Madrid versus Arsenal. I am from Real Madrid. I think we will make a comeback. I hope not, man. Listen, I'm sick and tired of it. I enjoy when I see you do it against City or PSG or whatnot, and Chelsea and all those things, not against us. Marino said, Real Madrid going for the comeback. Yes, that is the mentality of Real Madrid. That's why we have so much respect for them. It would be an open game where we will go all out. Does an open game suit us, though? Because we've shown that we're good defensively, but we can be got out on the transition. I don't really want to make it a foot race. And there were a couple of times, on another day, maybe mainly Mbappe scores a half chance. It depends, man. I'd prefer an open game, because same way we could be more vulnerable, they could. I don't really want to watch us for 90 minutes, under the cosh, deep and low blocks. I don't know, man. It'd be interesting. If Partey isn't fit, Spanish sources are saying Mikel Marino will play in midfield. I mean, it's hardly David Ornstein or Fabrizio Romano type information in it. What else are we going to do realistically? There's now a serious chance that Real Madrid will change their manager. The Arsenal game will be very important. If Real Madrid are eliminated, things could change very quickly for Carlo Ancelotti. So there's question marks about your club. Your season's not really been the best, despite the fact that you're fighting for a treble. Obviously, you've been bopped at the Emirates. The weekend, they kept their first clean sheet since February, so they've been shipping goals. When you're backed in a corner in life, you either curl up in the ball and succumb to whatever is in front of you, or you fight back. And you look at someone like Vinicius, it's well known Carlo Ancelotti is seen as a father figure. So if you really do love your manager and you feel like he's being done dirty, and you feel like he's taking the blame for a lot of your stuff, you're going to want to hit back. And also, if you're honest with yourself, if you're Real Madrid, not to belittle Arsenal, yeah, there's players that have won stuff elsewhere and players that are held in high regards in football, but they're newcomers to this. We're not letting them do us like this. They're not coming to our backyard and embarrassing. So there's so much intangibles beyond the obvious of where both clubs are that we did in the first leg that Real Madrid will look to do in the second leg. So we'll have to see, man. Big up the Atletico Madrid fans supporting us over the weekend. We're going to need all of that. Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, we're going to need you lot. Allegedly, Carlo Ancelotti held a meeting with the team today, obviously yesterday, where he asked for extra effort and maximum commitment against Arsenal. This is what Arteta is doing. He's making serial winners, 15-time winners, have crisis meetings and all of that kind of stuff. Boy, Arsenal have not conceded more than 2 goals in the game for 78 games straight. It's got to turn into 79 in it. I mean, rules are there to be broken, but we should have, quote unquote, every confidence. Maybe not necessarily with our strongest lineup, but the whole defensive ethos. And we're going to have to stand tall. And I don't want to be that guy, but you just imagine well, you know what? There's reality. We have a stronger team and the result in the first leg doesn't happen. But could you just imagine I would say this is a game, and it's going to sound mad. It's not mad to say you need Gabriel Magalhaes, I think you need Kai Havertz and I think you need Gabriel Jesus, but we're going to have to do without that, aren't we, folks? We're going to have to get on with it. The last time Arsenal conceded more than 2 goals was in December 2023. So it wouldn't surprise me if we win 4-3 on aggregate then, or the other way around. And that was against Luton. Who was it again? Declan Rice. Bit mad that 2 of the goal scorers that I've just been waffling about can't be involved. And if you lot remember 2023-24, don't call a man Duppy until he's dead, you know. So it's food for thought. We're going to wear our black kit. Hopefully that is to symbolize that we're wearing black for their funeral, but we're to wear our black kit tomorrow, people. The history of comebacks that mean Arsenal cannot switch off against Real Madrid. Food for thought, people. I'm going to skip through the jargon, but you know, I like to entertain you lot. It is a modern version of the first of club legend Juanito's 10 requirements for rotundas in what is essentially the club's playbook. This is obviously with Real Madrid for such moments, which is to already start talking about beating the opposition on the bus back for the first leg. The former winger became synonymous with comebacks due to a series of epics in the 1980s. I mean, in a circle, Barcel could tell me about that. And his name is going to be invoked a lot over the next few days. The Madrid industrial complex has already started cranking into gear to create an ambidante de rotonda. I don't know where the accent came from. I don't even know if I said it right, but it sounded wavy, brownish, shout me. See, multilingual and that. There are few like it in football. Even teams with a strong lead have felt beaten as soon as the Bernabeu atmosphere opens up. Food for thought. Now, Arteta's not an idiot. The players are not idiots. The coaching staff are not idiots. Anyone that's watched Real Madrid, me and you lot here have never kicked a ball. We know this is what you'd expect going to Real Madrid. So they know that. But then being devil's advocate is one thing knowing it, but then you're living and breathing it. So we'll have to see, people. So yeah, man. As Juanito told Internaze's Branzino Bini during a 3-0 Madrid comeback from 2-0 in the 1984-85 UEFA Cup final. 90 minutes is a long time in the Santiago Bernabeu. Tell me about it. 3 minutes can be bad enough. You only have to look at the end of the infamous 3-1 famous victory over Manchester City in the 2021-22 Champions League semi-final. Food for thought, for real, people. Food for thought. Part of it is down to this famous aura that everyone from City to Bayern Munich and Chelsea have felt in the Bernabeu. Arsenal are going to face the same scenario. The stadium is infused with belief, radiating through the players. I mean, based on what you read, you know, on fan blogs of Real Madrid and anything connected, it's almost like, I know it'll be different, but it's almost like Real Madrid fans are quite pessimistic just about their team anyways, because when you read online and you read the social media dons and you speak to them and everybody's like saying, yeah, it's still Real Madrid, they're really not happy with how they're performing. So I would say I think the fans will back them, but for the first time, I think the players have got to give them something. It doesn't feel like Madrid fans have been happy all season. So, yeah, we know that the stadium is infused with belief, radiating through the players. This is not a supporter culture that has any classic football neurosis in its identity. If you take a seat at the Bernabeu for such an occasion, you're virtually certain to see a middle-aged man in expensive leather jackets puffing on giant cigars and saying, of course, we're not going to lose, we're Madrid. Doubt doesn't really come into it. Even if there's still 3 goals down into the second half of Arsenal's second leg, the chant will be Si Simpi, I don't know, yes, we can. Part of it is down to the history of the aura, blah, blah, blah. Younger players like myself have understood the legend of the Santiago Bernabeu during European nights after these matches, said Rodrigo. No club has successfully come back from at least 2 goals down in the first leg of a European knockout tie, such as Real Madrid. The 15-time Champions League winners have done it 9 times. Barcelona actually next with 8. Manchester United on 5. 4 of Madrid's have also been in European Cup or Champions League. They did it against City. They did it against PSG, as we know. Their most spectacular actually came during a sensational 2 seasons in the old UEFA Cup in the middle of the 1980s, which is great as well. So yeah, what we're learning so far is that these man do this thing really and truly. Apparently, as I was saying here, when they have come back from 3 goals down before, people, it was a 3-goal deficit against an English club in the European Cup that gave rise to the start of all this. Even after Dave Mackey's Derby County had destroyed Madrid 4-1 at the old baseball ground in 1975-76, former left-back Jose Antonio Camacho was reportedly saying they would win 6-0 on the bus back to London. We're going to do it. So again, tech time. Don't call a man Duppy until he's dead, people. What is this? Robert Perez has said Arsenal's Champions League final defeat still hurts. It's a wound that will never heal. Trust me, man. I wouldn't say it doesn't heal. It's become a scar for me now. A scar that I wear with pride. But I'm not gonna lie. No, the wound's still open. Perez, I can't read this, man. I don't want to think about '06. So yeah, Marcelo was saying that they have faith. They're doing all that. It's in our DNA. We're Real Madrid. It's in our blood. Blah blah blah. Bloody bloody blah. All of that kind of stuff, which is right. But at some point, it's long hearing that now, isn't it? Hala Madrid, lesser that Arteta to Madrid next season. It's a funny way to spell Xabi Alonso. You can have Nypan, man. Real Madrid will be hoofing it to Mbappe, and it's going to be a game of game management, which is why I need to see the likes of Benjamin White and them, man. Even when losing games in Europe under Arteta, Arsenal have not been dominated and thrashed, is what Madrid need to do. Madrid may win the battle tomorrow, but ultimately Arsenal win the war. I hope so, man, said Hala Emirates. Relax, guys. We'll get a goal somehow, and it'll be over. There's a lot of work to do to fix this squad. Amen. I can't lie. I think you man are going to get shagged. Florentino Perez already dropped the bag. I know already there's a dodgy penalty going on in that game. I already know. We know what time it is, which is why I think we need another one. I know what time it is. It just takes one legit goal, dodgy penalty that's not handball. It gets mad. I'm saying 4-3 Arsenal on aggregate, man. I hope not, though. But it wouldn't surprise me. It just goes to show they fear us. Should fear anyone in life, man. But you have to take fear and allow it to fuel you. You can't succumb to it. But yeah, we do need to fix our squad. Signing a left winger makes Martinelli better so he can become our first choice or becomes a better option off the bench. Big up Atlanta. Still in football mode. Maybe they heard Ty's rain excuse, so they made sure there's no excuses tomorrow if Madrid win. They'll close the roof. So VAR can't work. Wi-Fi connection. You're a fool, man. Jorginho masterclass is even fit. That's another one you might need. That's another one. And rumors are that my man's being ruled out. Apparently, Rio Ferdinand said, listen, I mean, what is it with Manchester? Anyone connected to Man United just forever talking about Arsenal, things that don't concern them. You don't need to worry about Newcastle and whatnot. And now you got two shit keepers. They've actually been linked with Ramsdale. Listen, I think Arsenal go through. I think they've got too much. I think the Madrid team looked a bit disjointed the other day, in which they're not going to. You know, I know a lot's been said about their front three not tracking back and working. They're going to have to, bro. It's for one game. You've got to give it all. The other day, the balance in the team ain't been right. They've been conceding goals left, right, and center. Bukayo Saka coming back was a big thing. Saka coming back changed everything for Arsenal. If Saka's not there, I doubt they would have. I doubt they would have won 3-0. Well, he won the 2 free kicks, to be fair. But it is that. And I think you're going to go through, man. But if by any chance, if Madrid score first, I'm going to be sitting on my lap. Why for that? But anyways, moving on from that. Our unreal, see what they did there, record and comeback chances. But yeah, I'd like to see Jorginho there. Rice in DM. Is Rice even fit? What else have we got here? Overcoming the odds. Okay, they've not overcome a 3-goal deficit in Europe since 1985-86 when they were competing in the UEFA Cup, losing 5-1 to Borussia Mönchengladbach in the first leg before blowing the German side away with a 4-0 hammering. We know they're comeback kings. We know we're somehow unbeaten against Real Madrid. A big part of that is we haven't played them a lot. I therefore hope this is Trossard and that's Bukayo Saka or Marino or Martinelli or whatever have you. What a night this was, man. No one gave us a chance, man. But it is what it is. What is this? Real Madrid versus Arsenal prediction. Madrid are given a 54.8% chance of beating Arsenal inside 90 minutes on Wednesday's second leg, but only an 8% probability of reaching the semi-finals. I mean, no, football's not one with statistics. Only 4 teams have lost the first leg of the Champions League tied by at least 3 goals in advance. Deportivo La Coruña did it in 2004 against Milan. Barcelona did it against PSG in 2017. Roma versus Barcelona in 2018. And Liverpool versus Barcelona. We're unbeaten in 3 games against Real Madrid and could become the first team to ever keep 3 successive clean sheets against them in the competition. There's been 47 incidences of a team in the Champions League taking the lead of at least 3 goals into the second leg, but only 4 of those teams have been eliminated. But across the 53 games that Madrid have played against English sides in European Cups, this Champions League, they've only managed to win by more than 3 goals on 2 occasions. We've gone over the Derby County thing, where Real Madrid have tried and failed to overturn a 3-goal first leg deficit in Europe's Premier Club competition on 3 occasions. Oh, it is what it is. It is what it is, people. Despite having more possession with a 53.4% share, Arsenal made 115 high-intensity pressures in the final third last Tuesday. So we pressed well. That was more than 3 times as many as Madrid managed. So we was more intense than them. With their tally of 36 representing the fewest of any team involved in this season's quarter-final first legs. We know they're without Camavinga because he decided to be a twat. Bellingham is obviously a good player for them. We don't need none of this to know, man. It's just a good game. Apparently, Aston Villa are working to close deal to sign midfielder Nypan. I mean, Villa are getting a good squad in it. I mean, he was linked with a number of clubs. David Ornstein said yesterday, Aston Villa are working to close a deal to sign midfield talent Nypan from Rosenborg. Nypan has been a target for the likes of Villa, Arsenal, and Girona, holding talks with them all in the winter market before deciding to readjust the situation ahead of the summer transfer window. There is optimism at Villa Park that the coveted 18-year-old is enthusiastic about a move there, although they must still agree personal terms and a fee with Rosenborg, so a deal is not yet done. Villa will hope to finalise Napan's arrival in what may prove a significant coup, given the battle to secure the Norway Youth International Services. Allegedly, Nypan jumps off the page after Haaland, Odegaard, and Nusa. Norway has another mighty prospect. He grew up in, forgive me, I can't say that. He obviously plays for Rosenborg. He was training with the first team at 14. He became fairly early in his career, became a Norway under-21s international. He may not have been young enough to displace Odegaard as the youngest player in Elysarian history. He's not good then. We have to slander him. Nypan is more of an 8, less of a 10, and plays with fewer flourishes. I mean, that could have helped our squad, didn't it? Really and truly. But yeah, big him up. We have to slander him. Mikel Marino, how we play? Well, the result changes you. It's part of football. Our mentality is to be brave, to be Arsenal, and to stay true to our system. Big you up. In terms of agent fees, Arsenal spent X amount on agent fees between February the 2nd, 2024 and the 3rd of February, 2025. The Gunners ranked 6th from clubs in the Premier League. And from the big 6, only Liverpool and Spurs spent less than that time. So something for Berta to consider there, I guess. Arsenal have a lot of plans in the transfer market this summer and offering a bumper contract extension to Thomas Partey, who would then be considered a squad player, is highly unlikely at this stage. What do you lot make of that? Would you give Partey a new deal? Do you think he should be given a new deal? Do you think he shouldn't? Because God forbid, but there's a realm where, he's been ever present, been great in terms of his performances, but he signs a new deal and he probably reverts back to type. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. By the way, Mikel Marino was presented on Saturday with Arsenal's Player of the Month award, which is great, man, because he had a tough way to start. Kivior, playing at the Bernabeu, said, I think this is an amazing stadium. I've never been there. And for me, this is a very good experience. I think it's one of the biggest stadiums. So I'm waiting for this game. It's important to stay calm, but we have to win the second leg. Now, to be fair, there's been bullish chat from Marino, Kivior, and everybody, even Saliba in the aftermath, that we can't sit back. We have to be brave. So it'd be interesting to see how we play. After the first leg, I felt really good. You know that after a game like that, there's no other way. You just feel really good, but I still feel like it's not over yet. The most important thing is still ahead of us, so I'm still cool-headed. Keep going, Kivior. I mean, Gooner Lee said if Kivior has a good game at the Bernabeu, he's selling Gabriel Magalhaes for 100 million to Saudi. Let me know your thoughts. On Thursday, we're going to get Gooner Lee because he's got to address these sins, man. Partey still being assessed after suffering a knock last weekend, but Arsenal hope he'll be fit to face Real Madrid. That was said by John Cross, people. Apparently, tensions are brewing at Real Madrid. It's been one of the most tense weeks in Real Madrid's dressing room ahead of the clash against Arsenal. This will make for a good documentary for both Arsenal and Real Madrid, by the way. I don't know why there hasn't been, based on the last 2 seasons, like, and all or nothing from an us regard. Bellingham and Rudiger had to be separated during training as a bad tackle led to a confrontation and insults from both players. I know in football that is something, but footballers fight every day, really, I'd imagine, in training, people. If Madrid score an early goal, the team is prepared for it. In football, there's no fixed script. The key is to adapt. Mikel Marino, I'm loving that. Danny Sabah said, Arsenal, we need to give 200%. We need our fans and everyone to believe, just like we believe. We need everyone more than ever. So again, this is kind of how we were moving going into the first leg. The opening minutes will be very important against Arsenal on Wednesday. Naturally, people. Apparently, Man United are eyeing a move for Aaron Ramsdale, and it'd be just like Arsenal to get pennies for him. There's a small profit, I guess, Southampton would make. You'd imagine there's a relegation release clause. You'd imagine there's a sell-on fee. Couldn't begrudge Ramsdale for going Man United. It's a massive club. Do you think you're better than the Turkish guy they've got? I can't say his name. Probably. Do you think you're better than Onana? Bloody hope so. I mean, Ramsdale's got his own problems, but you could nick that. But then again, one thing that did help Man United is, stay up this season is that the three promoted teams are just not good enough. If Man United find themselves in a situation like this season, next year they could be in trouble. And even Spurs not have 17, 18 points. Hopefully they go down. Remember, Postecoglou said they win a trophy in their second year. We will be watching the Europa League very closely. But yeah, Aaron Ramsdale's being linked with Man United. He's always linked with Chelsea and he's still linked with Newcastle. Evidently, two of those three clubs, not so much Newcastle. It's easy to have some creative journalism with Aaron Ramsdale to any team that needs a goalkeeper, and obviously the English stuff as well, people. Keen to remain in contention for Tuchel's England squad. Ramsdale's believed to prefer to stay in the top flight should he leave. Fair play. Mikel Arteta has made Benjamin Sesko Arsenal's #1 target. It's very different from the language we hear about Andrea Berta wants to sign Gyökeres. Who would you lot prefer, Sesko or Gyökeres? I'm happy with either. I just want a striker, man. Dean Heidson, I can never pronounce this guy's name, would be excited to join Real Madrid, but currently there's no feedback from them, so Premier League teams are pushing to sign him. He's been linked with us. Ornstein said we've held talks. Do we need another big tickets defender? I don't know. Arsenal and Chelsea are leading the race to sign Nico Williams. Both clubs are prepared to trigger his 60 million euros release clause and beat any salary allegedly proposed by Barcelona. This has said Barca have no intention of signing Nico Williams. They consider that his trainer's already passed. So there's a lot of whispers going on. PSG head coach Luis Enrique fears Desire Doué could have his head turned by the Premier League and the riches on offer. I mean, can we sign him? Because this baby Neymar, this is who we should have signed from Rennes, man. Should have got him. Real Madrid are not interested in Martin Zubimendi. They prefer Liverpool's Alexis McAllister. I mean, Gravenberch's agent has been talking up his chance of going to Real Madrid. McAllister would bang at Madrid, to be fair. I mean, Liverpool would be crazy to let him go. I don't think they'd let him go. I couldn't begrudge McAllister. It feels like McAllister's only been at Liverpool for a season, but it's probably been a bit more. Any player where Real Madrid come calling, you can't begrudge them. But yeah, Liverpool are monitoring Kingsley Coleman's situation ahead of a potential move from Bayern. Arsenal have made contact with the players' reps, allegedly, and are keeping up the alleged stuff. Arsenal are ready to compete with Chelsea for the signature of Barcelona defender Jules Koundé and are prepared to offer 75 million euros. Really? Barcelona have placed a 78 million valuation on Rafinha amid interest from the Saudi Pro League. We still will continuously linked with him as well. We've gone over the Koundé thing. I mean, I'm all for it, but Heinsohn, Koundé, this is a lot of money where big ticket items are probably needed in midfield, left wing and up front, as well as having to be a bit cute and clever with all the other roles. We've been linked with Koundé before. I remember an article many years ago, Ornstein said that Koundé was the first choice and we couldn't get him. We went for Ben White. Wouldn't be against it. Can play centre-half as well as right back. Strong defensive depth and whatnot. I don't know if we're really interested in the 26-year-old like that. And obviously because of Barcelona's financial situation, I just think there's a lot of creative journalism anyways with them being linked with players being linked with moves away. Like if I was a journalist, Frankie de Jong to Man United, easy money. Koundé to Arsenal, easy money. Who else is there? Rafinha, easy money linking with Chelsea, Arsenal, and Man United. There's probably a couple of others if I really thought about who's in that Barcelona squad. So you have to take everything with a pinch of salt. I hope we haven't been clickbaited here, but Ollie Watkins reveals Aston Villa frustrations amid Arsenal links. He's only started one of Aston Villa's last 5 games. He scored off the bench against Southampton, and he was offered to Arsenal in the January transfer market. The 29-year-old suffered a knee injury last month. I mean, how ironic would that have been if we signed him and he got injured? There is that reality where we could have signed a striker or some sort of depth and we still would have been in problems. Hamzy Flick won't allow one of his key players to leave. DG, do you have any videos on Xavi Simons? We are linked with him. Do you rate him? I do. And I rate him, man. I do think he flatters to deceive. I still think his consistency needs to go up a bit. I do think regardless of the statistics, he's had a bit of a down season, but he's adaptable. He's capable of stardust. Good dribbler, versatile, can score goals. A player that you pay to, like, how do you make it make sense? A player that gets bums on seats, if that makes sense. Ramsdale to relegate United next year. Here we go. Amen. Partey will be fit because he's at his training ground and training with the team. Smash the likes. And if you're new here, shout out yourself, Nathan. I'd give Partey a new 1-year deal and try to sign his long-term replacement at the same time. If he leaves, though, I'd understand. I don't think Partey is injured. Apparently, Madrid won't allow him there. I do hear all of that. And I don't know about all of that, but I'd expect Partey to play tomorrow, if I'm honest. DG, Rice and Partey are both fitting in training. That's music to my ears. Smash the likes. Nathan, big up yourself. And also Big Steve, man. Run up the likes, people. Biggest game of the season so far. It feels like, and obviously it's Madrid, But it does feel like Arsenal, we've said that a few times this season, though. White might come on later to secure the back line. I just need White in the squad, bro. I'm not saying you need to start, but you need the Whites, the Jorginhos, the Tini's big. You're gonna need to be displayed. We need to manage the game properly. We need to manage the game, man. We need to manage the game. Too much propaganda. A man said, big up Prime Minister DG. Make sure you're all liking the vids. 35 likes is diabolical, brother DG. Super consistent and bringing us Arsenal fans top quality content. Big up halftime hooks, man. Make sure you're giving him a follow. Can't imagine you're not. Well, if it finishes 3-1, we'll still go through. We do need to slay the dragon. Dan, one love, man. There's a rumor that Xabi Alonso is set to be Real Madrid manager for the next season. We keep hearing that, and there's speculation over Carlo Ancelotti, and I guess it's comes with the territory at Real Madrid, isn't it? Like, them man don't care if you, and technically they still hold the Champions League because they won it last year. There's not a new winner. They don't care about past laurels, isn't it? It's just how the job goes. I do want to give them hell. Man said, deluded Espanol. Yes, I've been watching fans of other Spanish clubs all week. Yeah, in the circle, you've been loving it, man. We're going to hold a high line or drop deep. I think we have to hold a high line because dropping deep, it makes sense, but you're inviting pressure. That you're inviting them like to just come at you and come at you and come at you. I'd rather we just keep doing what we're doing. Of course, if something happens, we're gonna have to adapt. Crisis meeting. Where did I say that? Where did I say crisis meeting? So if Carlo doesn't make a miraculous comeback tomorrow, he'll get sacked. Arsenal have a chance to stop the reign of Carlo Ancelotti. And we gotta remember, Real Madrid are still fighting for a treble. I think Barcelona technically are. Real Madrid technically are. There's another team. I'm not sure if it's Bayern Munich. I think it's Inter Milan, but a couple teams are fighting for such people. Let's see what Ollie Watkins has said, man. I hope he's actually said something proper. For me, I'm not happy to sit on the bench. I mean, what player is happy to sit on the bench? It's disappointing every game that I'm on the bench, but it's the manager's decision at the end of the day. That's true. But it's one thing where you've got John Duran. It's another where there is no evident striker. So I wonder what's good. I mean, I'd have to ask a Villa fan. I'm not watching Villa week in, week out, but we'd have to see. Where that's concerned. I mean, it hasn't said anything. We've been done there, innit? His frustrating situation at Villa may not seem to persist, but if he does contemplate moving on this summer, Arsenal is no longer likely to be an option. The Gunners were recently reported to have called their interest and won't be returning with a revised offer in the summer. Instead, they have other interests. Alexander Isak, Victor Gyökeres, Benjamin Sesko, Matheus Cunha are all younger. I think we like Watkins, but we got to remember, we needed a striker. We were offered Watkins. So we thought, you know what, we like him. If a deal can get done, we're here for it. I don't think it's one we'll push the boat out. I would love us to get your Benjamin Sesko or your Gyökeres and an Ollie Watkins. I would love, in an ideal world, I'd love two strikers, a left winger, the Kai Havertz's, the Martinelli's, the Trossards. Maybe one of the three at best has to move on. Centre mid, left back. I want all of that, but it's naive to expect two strikers if I'm honest with you in the summer. I really do think it would be. We just have to hope for one. Arsenal have Cunha concerns after social media controversy. Arsenal have to make a decision about whether to sign Cunha amid ongoing questions about his attitude. I mean, I'm sure Berta, having been at Atletico Madrid, could get us that answer. And football's a small world. I'm sure somebody at Arsenal knows somebody at Wolves and would answer that question. While the deal is considered a no-brainer based on his talent, Arteta is notoriously picky when it comes to which players he wants to work with. This comes following the forward's questionable social media activity after he hit out a Wolves fan who had criticized his attitude towards the club. Now, footballers are allowed to hit back, you know. Like, just because he's rebutted something doesn't mean he's rattled, doesn't mean he has an attitude problem. I definitely think he's hot-headed. There's been a number of incidences. He's definitely hot-headed, but if I was a footballer and I care, and let's just say I'm Cunha, and we're going to see, but I care, and you're telling me I don't care, I'm not going to react to the thousands of comments I probably get, but every now and again you want to. So we'll have to see. Brown previously told Football Insider that Cunha's attitude may put clubs off a move this summer after his red card against Bournemouth. I mean, welcome to Arsenal, mate. Since then, Cunha has admitted he wants to leave the Molineux as he aims to win trophies and play at the highest level, raising frustrations at his current club. Man United and Liverpool join Arsenal in Matheus Cunha. Arsenal not the only club to have shown an interest in the Brazilian. What has been said is something Arsenal will take on board. They'll be speaking to people behind the scenes to find out what he's like as a person. Everybody will be doing that. That's not news. He's a very talented player. There's no doubt about that. He can do things that not a lot of other players can do at this level. There are a few clubs who could do with a talented player like that in their side. But you have to look at his character. You see certain things from him and raise questions about whether he's the best to have around. Has anybody said he's a disruptive figure? Maybe they have. I'm genuinely see it. Has anyone that's come out of all said he's a disruptive figure, says he doesn't train hard, says he doesn't care about the club? This is a man where if you're going to talk about his attitude when they're in a relegation front, and I don't like when people are not fair to footballers. He could have bust out from Wolves. He said it doesn't feel right to leave them in a relegation front, and he signed a new deal. So be fair. If you're going to talk about L's, talk about W's. I'm not sure about that. I do think he's hot-headed, but does being hot-headed mean you got an attitude problem? I don't know. And half of these good footballers have chips on their shoulders. But then we'll sit here and say footballers these days have no personalities. Like Vinicius clearly has a chip on his shoulder. And I'm dreaming, but if Vinicius became available and he wanted to join Arsenal, you think Mikel Arteta is saying no? Anywho, people. Yeah, so we've gone over that. A player's character is just as important as their ability. I know that's certainly the case for Mikel Arteta. When you look at what he's done at Arsenal, if you were signing his ability, it's a no-brainer. But Arsenal have questions about his attitude. It'd be up to them to decide whether his talent is enough to overlook the issues. And it's true, but there's players that, on the face of it, they might look like good youths, because we don't know. There's players that probably don't get in trouble, don't have them hot-headed moments. How do we know they ain't got attitude problems? How do we know when Arteta says 10 laps around the pitch, they're huffing and puffing, or any manager? We genuinely don't know. Mikel Arteta's four-man striker shortlist revealed. While new concerns have been raised about Cunha's attitude, Arsenal already considering a number of alternatives. Benjamin Sesko, Cunha, Mateta, and Gyökeres have been name dropped here. Palace want to keep Mateta for what it's worth. Man United are apparently leading the race for Gyökeres, allegedly. Should we click on this and see what it's talking about? Okay, that was the 23rd of March, so it feels like things have changed. Arsenal looking to improve their attacking unit at the end of the season, and they've identified Gyökeres as a potential target. He's got 11 assists and 44 goals to his name at Sporting, people, which this year, 26 years of age. According to Romano, the players' agents were in England early this month to hold talks regarding a potential move. However, the report does not mention whether those talks were with the Gunners. Gyökeres is on the radar of multiple clubs this summer. Give Me Sport claims Arsenal director Berta is a huge fan of the Swedish striker, and it remains to be seen whether the Gunners can get the deal done. He'll cost around 65 to 70 million euros in the summer. And we know he's needed, people. We know that we have striker problems when everybody's fit. Who's going to be clinical? We've seen Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus' injuries, and why we need depth, people. Allegedly, Nico Williams has set an Arsenal ultimatum. Nico Williams has issued Arsenal an ultimatum if they want to sign him this summer. I mean, 1 minute you want to join us, then it's Barca, then Barca will not go in, then there's lifetime contract, then you're open to the Prem. There's a lot of whispers. The Gunners are leading the race for the Bilbao sensation, but they'll have to get a move on if they want to bring him to the Emirates. Sport reports that Williams has informed the Gunners that he wants his future resolved by July the 15th. We do. What Arsenal for? Smash the like button if you want signings in sooner rather than later, and just do it anyways. If he is to join a new club with Barcelona, the main rivals to Arsenal, the transfer must be completed by this date so that he can have a full pre-season with his club for 2024-25. Arsenal have made Williams their top target for the wing this summer, with reports circulating in recent days they are getting closer to striking a deal. Apparently, Football Transfer has previously confirmed that the Gunners were in talks with Williams' reps and had been put into pole position for the deal by their new sporting director, Berta. Arsenal are happy to trigger the 58 million euros release clause in his athletic contract, but his high wage demands have made negotiations over personal terms tricky. Barcelona also wish to sign Williams, but their financial situation makes a deal difficult. Arsenal and Barcelona were in a two-way tussle to sign Williams last summer, but the player eventually stayed at Bilbao. Barca had been particularly desperate to sign the athletic winger last summer, but were unable to complete a deal for the same financial reasons. It's been long since been claimed that Williams would ideally rather join Barca if that move was still on the table. We all know what he did during the Euros. He scored at the weekend as well, people. I'm all for his signing. Man United apparently want to hijack the Garcia deal, where Arsenal are concerned, people. The highly rated 23-year-old, they need a goalie more than us. We need a number 2 or someone that can compete. Well, boy, to be honest, their best keeper is probably Tom Heaton. They need to play one of the youngsters, because that lad that played for Newcastle is trash, but at least I've seen you stand up tall against us. Onana is absolutely horse shite. So, yeah, apparently United have entered the race to sign the goalkeeper, setting up a potential transfer tussle. 1 minute, Barcelona, Leverkusen, this one, that one. Everybody's interested. Everybody's interested in all the good players, I guess, people. What's going on here? Am I still here? Yes, I am. Arsenal have already made a €20 million bid for Garcia last summer, viewing him as an option between the posts following Ramsdale's move to Southampton. No move ultimately materialised, but the Gunners' strong interest has remained. Personal terms are fully agreed between Garcia and Arsenal, while Espanyol initially stood firm on their insistence that his €30 million release clause be paid. Sources indicate the Spanish club are now showing a willingness to lower their asking price. Man United are preparing to hijack the move. Club sources revealed that United have identified Garcia as a potential replacement for Onana. I mean, do you want to be the number 2 at Arsenal or the number 1 at United? That's something to consider. And are they even able to move Onana on? Man United more attractive for Garcia. How? Only because he's more likely to be the number 1. We got the London aspect. We're going to be in the Champions League. We're in a better health. Like you probably defo get some clean sheets with Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, and all them man behind you. What? You got Lisandro Martinez and that, Lenny Euro and that. Henry was cooking him on that Sunday, on that Monday night show. To be fair, I like Lenny Euro, but the game's the game. United have yet to make an official approach, but are confident Garcia would be open to the move. Of course you would. It's Man United, especially with the promise of immediate first-team football, something Arsenal cannot guarantee, having initially viewed him as a second-choice keeper. What could potentially be crucial is that we're told United are willing to outbid Arsenal's original offer, which could sway both Espanyol and the player. And we also hear that Berta wants to divert funds. While he rates Garcia, he wants to divert funds elsewhere. Garcia is impressed in La Liga with his composure, sharp reflexes, and ball-playing ability, qualities that appeal to both Premier League giants. For Arsenal, Garcia remains a long-term investment. For United, he represents a potential immediate fix as Ruben Amorim considers reshuffling the goalkeeper department. To be fair, Garcia just needs to be able to catch a ball, because Onana can do all that modern keeper stuff. His passing range, like Raya and half of these goalies, Edison, I'd like to see them in centre midfield, really and truly, just like maybe in some preseason game. It's all the basics. Onana's jumping high when it's a low effort. He's jumping low when it's a high effort. He's spilling. He just like several bad habits in it. Just not a confident goalkeeper. And I do think it's harsh, but for all the money, the hype, and the expectation, I think Matic is right. Definitely as an Arsenal fan, I don't think you're the worst goalkeeper I've seen in Manchester United history, but I'm trying, if I ignore the guys that are evidently number 2s and not good enough in that, you probably are. Like, you're nowhere near Van der Sar. You're nowhere near De Gea. You're nowhere, you shouldn't even say Peter Schmeichel. Forget that. You're not even better than his son, Kasper Schmeichel. Who else have they had in goal? Probably better than, not Lingard. Obviously, his name's not Lingard, but it's Lin something. They had a goalie, man. See his name. F knows, but they had to keep I can't remember his name for the life of me. Crystal Palace are still being linked with Kivior people, and they're prepared to do a deal for in the region of 20 to 25 million euros. Put a bit more on that. Your Premier League club, you got money as well, and plus you still got the Elise money. You're gonna make some Eze money. Gonna make the water money once upon a time. What's this? Arsenal buying open Jonathan David talks. What's this? Newcastle beat Arsenal to teenage wonder kid. Did Arsenal bid? Because the headline sounds great, doesn't it, people? But good signing for Newcastle. Newcastle have completed the signing of Spanish wonder kid Antonio Cordano. Romano reports that Newcastle have agreed a deal to sign the Malaga sensation on a free transfer at the end of the season. An official announcement from Newcastle is expected imminently. Romano says that both Arsenal and Real Madrid wanted to sign Cordero. Sorry, people, for saying him Cordano, like the coin. While Arsenal were also reported to be in talks earlier this year. So, yeah, big up yourself. Go do your thing, man. Whether you're a star or not, we'll have to see. Arsenal and Bayern Munich allegedly opened Jonathan David talks. Arsenal and Bayern Munich have opened talks with the entourage of Jonathan David over a potential summer free transfer. I mean, if you could be an option rather than the level raiser, Gyökeres and them guys, fair enough. That's according to Sempre Inter, who report that Arsenal and Bayern have both accelerated their pursuit of the Lille striker. I reckon you go Spain or Italy. I don't think you're going Germany. I can understand it, though. And I don't think we're going to get you. The 2 European giants have opened talks with David's reps to understand the financial cost of the potential deal. Didn't we hear that his wage demands are crazy? No contract offer has been submitted by Arsenal or Bayern yet, but the report adds that the Gunners lead the race. We're leading the race for everything, innit? And everyone, apart from the Premier League. Lead the race out of all the Premier League teams interested in David. David to leave Lyon on a free transfer. This is something we know. And to be fair, we were looking at Jonathan David going back to his time spent in Belgium as a player, people. Clearly not signing a new deal at Lyon. Drawing interest from Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea, Liverpool, Newcastle, West Ham, Bayern Munich, Juventus, and Inter Milan. Aren't they going to lose Angel Gomez as well? We'll have to see. Apparently, they're demanding a gross salary of 9 million per season, a 15 million signing on fee for the striker, plus an agent fee of 10 million. If true, it will cost 34 million over the first year alone for Arsenal or Bayern to sign David this summer. Arsenal and Bayern now need to make the decision whether it is worth paying such fees for the player when there is no transfer fee. David has been one of Europe's most prolific and consistent strikers over the few years. He joined Lille from Gent in 2020 and has since gone on to score over 100 goals in all comps for the club. He has also enjoyed an outstanding 2024-25 season, scoring 23 goals in all comps. This includes 9 in the Champions League. At the age of 25, David is already his nation's all-time top goal scorer. He has 32 goals in 61 caps for Canada, people. So we'll have to see how that develops. We've gone over that. Barcelona set asking price for Chelsea and Arsenal to sign Rafinha. Apparently, they'll let business be done for 69.4 million. He's been great. He's integral to Hansi Flick's side. Does not make sense them selling him, but if you want to believe that you do, Graham Bailey has said Arsenal have no real interest in pursuing a move for Kingsley Coleman this summer. Although the club have not rejected the deal as it stands, they don't see Coleman as their first choice option, and I reckon he goes Saudi and just goes to get paid. What's this? Let's pause this because copyright. Arsenal training, Ben White's there, Partey's there, Calafiori and Jorginho are not there. Partey is part of the Arsenal travelling squad to face Real Madrid. Ben White's been pictured in training as we've gone with Partey, and I'm sure Mikel Arteta is going to be asked at 6:15 UK time, people. So, yeah, man, interesting stories, interesting. What's this? Josh Kroenke breaks silence. Okay, well, what did you say? Hope you ain't clickbaiting. What have you said? Last Tuesday was the craziest Tuesday I could have ever imagined. I had the worst morning that I had in over 10 years with the Nuggets, followed by the most amazing afternoon I could have ever asked for with Arsenal Football Club. So, no. Trophy parades, winning champs, winning prems, picking up domestic trophies, doing an FA Cup and Premier League double, which I've seen my boys do. God, thank you for letting me be born in 1995, man. I caught Arsenal at the last kind of serious moment. So we can definitely do a lot better than that, mate. He said, we beat Madrid 3-0 in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and we're going to Spain this week with a chance to advance. They need to stay focused. They got a lot of things they're dealing with too. But on a human level, that was a rough Tuesday for me. Okay. Where's the money, though? Arsenal plot move to sign Anthony Gordon after huge Newcastle twist. We've heard David Ornstein say we've got admiration in him. Everybody in the Premier League would want to sign Gordon, just like with HIJACK, just like with Gomares. But as we know, with all three, Newcastle have won a trophy. They got new owners. They got an exciting thing. They spent big money on Gordon and HIJACK anyways. They're going to want an arm and a leg. And he signed a new deal. I don't believe in this. I can humor you lot and say, in theory, Saka and Gordon with a Gyökeres, that would be a good front three. And I would take out, listen, the 24-year-old is more than welcome to sign for Arsenal Football Club, but tired, man. The winger's agent has been circulating his name as a potential option in recent weeks. Now, there's no way of backing this up, but didn't he just sign a new deal? Unless he wants an improvement on his new deal, that don't make sense. Or he genuinely wants to leave. I don't know, man. This comes after Brown told Football Insider Newcastle could accept huge offers for Gordon if they are forced to sell before they can spend this summer. The Magpies remain extremely reluctant to lose their best players, but would be prepared to cash in on the England man ahead of Alexander Isak or Gomares. Arsenal, meanwhile, determined to sign a new winger amid concerns about their strength and depth following injuries to Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli this season. What has been said here? I hear Arsenal have been having a look at Anthony Gordon. I think his agent is putting his name about that. He usually plays a big part in driving a deal. Since his move to Newcastle from Everton, he's cemented himself as a real top player for them. Newcastle is a great club to be at, especially now that they've won a trophy. They're going to be looking to push on from there. So I'm not entirely convinced it'd be a simple decision for Gordon to make. Arsenal might be prepared to offer him more money. And of course, they're aiming to win the Premier League, and they believe he can help them do that. So from that, and he played well against us. So from that position, it's a move that could make sense because he would certainly improve them. It doesn't surprise me at all to see Arsenal interested, but there's still a long way to go before a deal can happen. And yeah, we're still being linked with Nico Williams, and he's also been linked with Real Madrid. Apparently, we've leapfrogged Real Madrid in the race for his signature. Really? Nico Williams to Real Madrid? Really? Nico Williams, again, a lot of conflicting stuff. 1 minute, Barcelona are not involved. Now they are. This is why it just provides talking points to us, people. Nico Williams is still Barcelona's first transfer target for the winger position. What's this? Hugo Ekitike, Eintracht Frankfurt will demand between 90 to 100 million for the in-demand striker, people. He's been linked, as you know, with Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Newcastle, people. So it's gone up from 80 million euros to 90 to 100. Fair enough. In 42 games this season, he has 20 goals and 8 assists. Frankfurt currently sit third in the Bundesliga and are into the quarterfinals of the Europa League. He also bagged against Spurs, which is brownie points. On top of this, Ekitike's fee is related to the price tag that Newcastle placed on the Swedish striker. Isaac stud out. Fair enough. You know what? Fair enough. The 25-year-old is also valued at 100 million euros. And as Ekitike is 3 years old, I mean, he's doing quite well to be playing Champions League and back it. Well, play for PSG, play in Europa League and do all of that at 3 years old. As Ekitike is 3 years old, do they mean 3 years younger? I don't know, people. Frankfurt sees this as a fair valuation. If Frankfurt qualifies for the Champions League and wins the Europa League this season, the asking price for the 22-year-old will be even more justified. So yeah, they're good at selling. They sold Jovic. I forgot you went Real Madrid. You got Kond. They sold Helia for good money. They sold Koulibaly for good money. They sold Marmoush for something decent. And you would imagine Hugo Ekitike is going to follow suit, people. On the topic of European football, don't forget, we will be watching Aston Villa versus PSG tomorrow. Even if you're not going to, today actually, even if you're not going to be there, smash the like button on the vids, help with the engagement. What's this? Liverpool have caused Arsenal to panic. Just seems like was, if I'm honest with you people. But let's see if there's been any updated stuff. We've been linked with Vlahovic. Some nonsense rumors today, innit, people? Nonsense rumors, but fair enough, man. The game's the game. And to be fair, Van Dijk and Arsenal said that Liverpool are going to do not a madness, but they're going to do a madness in the summer market. Let's see. Liverpool now appear to have overtaken Arsenal in a separate transfer saga that both sides will be looking to come on top of. Let's see exactly what's being said there. Arsenal taken aback by Liverpool's latest approach for Hato. Liverpool have caused panic at Arsenal after... How can you cause panic if David Ornstein and all these guys say we're only going to move for another defender if Kiwior goes, which for me it's panic because I want your Hato, apologies. Like if I was in Arsenal right now and I was next to Bro, I'd say, hey, make some phone calls, Timber, gas him. But apparently, it's caused panic at Arsenal after making a new approach for the HIJACK defender Hato. He's a top target for both Premier League sides heading into the summer transfer window. We've caught offside reporting that HIJACK will listen to offers of around 50 million euros, 42 million for the Netherlands international. Liverpool making a fresh move for the teenage defender is an encouraging sign that the Reds are ready to spend top dollar for the Dutch wonder kid. They've been linked with him for some time, can play both left back and centre back. He's a dream defensive signing for them. I don't know about that, but fair enough. Declan Rice set for different Arsenal role. What does that mean? Real Madrid are expected to come out all guns blazing. Yeah. Bellingham warned how one place where crazy things happen is our house. That's great, but what does this mean for Rice? Is it meaning Rice is in the six? This is just Petit's opinion. Respectfully to Petit, ain't no one trying to hear that. Arsenal could look to secure a deal for Vlahovic in the upcoming transfer window. I respect it. Anyone still linking us with Vlahovic, I respect it. According to reports, with Juventus feeling the economic burden of his contract, which could open the door for the Gunners to make a permanent signing. Almost 90 goals in just under 200 Serie A appearances is an outstanding record, and the 25-year-old has been easily one of the most consistent strikers in the country during that time. He's also the highest earner in Serie A. Mikel Arteta is crying out for an out-and-out talisman, having been linked with HIJACK amongst others. But Vlavic's record in the Italian top flight and Juventus's open-mindedness to a sell could be enough to see the Spaniard swoop. We're seriously interested. He earns 320 grand per week, people, which is obviously going to put Juventus on a financial burden, and his contract is up in 2026. Juventus are thought to be open to his sale for a fee of around 50 million, in brackets 43 million pounds, which could make him an attractive prospect for Arteta. Sources have indicated that the Premier League clubs could submit offers of around 45 million euros, in brackets 38.5 million this summer, in a bid to lure Juventus into relinquishing their relationship with their main talisman. There's no doubt in Vlahovic has quality, and he still has 14 goals this season, but his annual wage and bonuses are thought to be costing Juventus around 20 million per season. Juventus have been crap in terms of sales, looking at what some of their players have been doing, and crap in terms of additions. Lloyd Kelly, the fee needed, great from Newcastle. The fee needed to get Vlahovic in, and the wages, crazy. Absolutely crazy. So I have to see. I think it's driven by our previous interest in him, if I'm honest with you, and just our overall still need to smash the like. But now we've not got 100 likes, people. Overall need for a striker. So I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure if I believe that, man. It just seems like that is was. Keep the noise inside. Arsenal still have no striker yet. They scored 3 past Madrid. That's worrying for rivals. It just shows that we could build on something, man. Like we've got something to build on. Big up my guy Aaron, man. Make sure you're following Aaron Talks Arsenal. Now, open the release clause for Gyökeres and Jonathan David on a free. Remember, Leo won the Liga with Jonathan David. He'd give us something different up front. It all depends the signing on fee, man. Them fees there were like, oh, hella Bandulu articles. Ajax always making money. I hear it. Get me Gyökeres a striker. We're missing. Amen. Amen. 100 million for a 3-year-old. That's illegal, bro. He must be Hugo Ekitike must be wavy, bro. Like all them goals and all of that for a 3-year-old, man. This is what it is. SLD, isn't DG too young to be a decent content creator? Whatever that means. Nico Williams, we link to Southampton next. We need a big summer transfer. Come on, Berta. I hear it. I hear it. Give me Bruno. G would love it. Hey, catch one love, man. I said, old man, DG knows what you're moving, mad. If we can't get Gordon, I'd take Kingsley Coleman. I'm not on the Kingsley Coleman thing. On ability, yeah, but beyond the obvious, how do you make us better? How does Kingsley Coleman make us better? By all means, we sign him. He's great. You can say he's better than Martinelli and Trossard and all of this, which I wouldn't disagree if you think that. But also, if that's the barometer to bring in a player in dangerous territory, he's going to want to be on big wages. He does get injuries. Nah, it's a no for me. If we sign him, it is what it is. But it would tell me that we haven't got our first choice target. If we get Sane and Coleman and all them ones, it's bargain hunting, man. Need to bid for my Killy Eze, top player. Would love Eze, man. Left wing, 10, 8, English, all that stuff. Why would Kivio go to Palace? First team football, to be fair. I reckon he goes back to Italy. We're linked with Coleman. Garcia is mad good. We should try and get him. He'll definitely light a fire up Reyes. Whoa, I don't think you can pause that, my guy. But whoa. God is a hidden treasure and loves to be found. Only Allah is the benefactor to us human beings. Alhamdulillah. Hey, facts. The ways of the world take you away from inner serenity. God gives serenity. I hear that. Matic cooked him and they were better off keeping the hair. They said Onana was a major upgrade. The sky is blue. Boy, besides Onana isn't the problem at United. He's a minor problem in the grand scheme of things, but he is a major problem, man. You need a decent keeper and a decent striker, I believe, at any level. Garcia is mad good. I'd say he's even better than Raya. Bring him in then. Nico Williams has not been good this season. I've been watching Bilbao. He's not it. I'm still having him. I don't want Nico Williams. Probably. If it's up to Arteta, I don't think he'll sign a player like Cunha. You asked the question, DG. I'd rather Gyökeres over Sesko. Sesko is still raw with some parts of his game. I rate Cunha, but he has a bad attitude. Even Wolves fans say he's a hothead. But is being a hothead meaning you got a bad attitude, though? Because I think we're conflating the two. Xhaka had a hothead. I wouldn't say Xhaka had a bad attitude. And I know it's very different, but Arteta fucked with him. I've never heard Cunha downs tools in training. He doesn't fight for his teammates. He doesn't care. And I could be wrong about all this. I've never heard he's got a manager problem. I think we're conflating being hot-headed with having a bad attitude. And also, man, a human. Just because you have one mistake don't mean you're a madman. Beef bully, DG, give me a score. 4-1 Arsenal on aggregate. This attitude thing is just an easy thing to throw around, man. Without context, I never believe it's waffle. Watkins had an injury and Villa were winning most games at the time. So it's likely a case of why fix something that ain't broke after he's back. I hear that. It's a good way of putting it. Partey trained with the rest of the Arsenal squad on Tuesday morning before they were due to fly to Spain. DG, the board wants a 1 in, 1 out model. We have to sell to bring in more players. You see, that's not what I want to hear because we don't need, obviously there's elements of need to do that, but we don't need to do that. If we bought someone in January, there's no one that was going to leave. Man said halftime crooks. Crazy, we dodged the bullet with the now injured Watkins. Shh, boy, just a reminder, the Doué or Arda Güler? For me, Doué, man, Doué. I like Arda Güler, though. I think he's cold, but Doué's cold, man. Baby Neymar, obviously, you got a long way to go before you can be in the same realm as him. Hey, let's say that, Aaron, and let's respect everybody's beliefs, please. Thank you. Vlahovic would be a terrible deal. Hope you get him. It feels like someone's selling you a dodgy motor, man. Like they're selling you a car that looks good on the outside. 2.2s now, the engine's boss. The gearbox ain't working. The illusion of Vlahovic sounds good. Give me Gyökeres and Bruno G all day. They cost that though, man. That's the only thing. I don't believe anything until I see a player in training at Arsenal. Charles, until I see a footballer holding shirts. I grew up watching Bergkamp, Perez, Henry, or insert any Tony Adams, insert any great Arsenal player, legend, cult hero, whatever. It's just talking points with us because we don't know what is going on. Like, it's too easy to be creative with the journalism. DG, who would you use up front for tomorrow? Where possible, can the same lineup go out there? Can the same lineup go out there? That's it for me. Can the same lineup go out there? So that's Marino up front, Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left, Lewis Skelly, obviously Partey, Odegaard, Declan Rice, Kivior, Saliba, Timber, and obviously Raya. If I haven't made that clear, man. So yeah, you lot, man, loud the religious fighting in the chat, man. Like, just let people believe what they want to believe, man. Cunha been sent off once in his career. The disrespect is mad. Talking about bad attitude. There's been, he's been sent off. I'm sure he had a little moment against Ipswich. He clearly is hot-headed, but that don't mean you have a bad attitude. Like, I just think in football, people can throw. I'm not saying anyone here, but I think subconsciously we can all be guilty of that. It's easy to just say somebody's got a bad attitude. We don't know these people. Like, they're human. We don't know them. And if you keep saying things, it becomes facts. And especially as Arsenal fans, it's not the same. But seeing the way Xhaka was spoken about, seeing the way young Skelly is having a great season from a dream point of view, at 18 years of age, jumping in the academy, doing what he's doing, he's having a great season. You ain't ever heard anything from Romano, Ornstein, all them journalists. You ain't Arteta, you ain't heard nothing about no attitude problem from that individual, but you do in the media. So let's just be cool a bit, man. We don't know. Maybe Cunha does. It wouldn't surprise me if he's hot-headed and has that and has mercenary traits. There's a lot of footballers like that, but I do think we're conflating being hot-headed with a bad attitude, which it's not right. Try to stay on topic, man. You can talk about religion and politics here if you want, but just respect everyone's belief, man. Just don't do too much. DJ, I think we should use both White and Saliba as centre-backs tomorrow. White's not fully fit, man. He help us close out the game. Every player's moments of madness, you get it. And I mean, that could be coached out of him. And if I'm honest, let's be honest, some players know that they can do certain things at certain clubs. If I'm honest with you. Cunha is a baller. I don't think we're going to buy him though, man. I think we admire him. I do think we might have tried to get him in January, but I think if you're Arsenal, you want to get your Gyökeres or your Sesko first. You want to get your Zubamendi through the door. You want to really try for the Nico Williams. Dare I say, do you want to try and get the Garcia one done early as well? You want to focus on outgoings. If there's some money to play around, maybe even a left back, if there's some money to play around with him, we've done our job in that regards. Maybe we go for Cunha. I'm cool with Cunha, He'd be a great option to play in a variety of roles. He'd make our squad better, Premier League proven, X Factor, all of that kind of jazz. But where would he play? Because whether you like Odegaard or not, we'll have to review that. The reality is the captain is going to be playing. So he's not going to play in the 10. He can deputize as a false 9, but come on, we don't want to see. That's not the striker we want to see on a full-time basis. He can play off the left, and that's probably where he does. But is he a true winger, a true inside forward? Or is he someone that can mix and blend across all? Which he can play across the front forward. Like, he can play 10, can play on the right, can play on the left, play through the middle. Start with a striker and go from there. I hear that. DG, which striker do you think Arsenal are getting? I still think Sesko, if I'm honest with you. I still think Sesko. If I had to put money, I still think Sesko. I hope Gyökeres though, man. I like Sesko. I know he mixes opinions. I agree with a lot that he's raw and all of that kind of stuff. But I'd prefer Gyökeres purely because that would tell me the club is on a win now mode kind of thing. Like, the man's 26. You wanna use him at his peak and try and get over the line in something. Cunha just has a winning mentality. With that comes a bit of ego. I hear that. We can definitely get 100 likes. It's not going to come out your way. Just smash the like button and sub if you're new. 100% same lineup incoming. I hope so, man. If we're able to do that. DG, who would you use up front? Marino. If I didn't make clear Marino, I need you to drop in midfield. And I need to see similar things from what was done in the first leg, man. But by hook or by crook, just get over the line, bro. I'd be happy with Mbuemo or Cunha for us. A lot of clubs be interested. I would love Mbuemo. I reckon you lot are going to get Mbuemo. And Anthony Gordon, Isaac, Mbuemo, safe. That's a dangerous front three. Safe. Anyone be lucky to have Cunha. The thing is, where's Cunha going to go? I mean, it's easy to link him with Liverpool. Easy to link him with Man United. Easy to link him with Arsenal. I ain't really seen Chelsea links. Every now and again, he's linked with Nottingham Forest, Newcastle. There's another one. Nottingham Forest, Newcastle. There's another one. There's another. Well, there's another club. The only one I would rule out is Spurs. Why on God's green? You might as well stay at Wolves, bro. You might as well stay at Wolves. If you move to Spurs, I doubt your mentality. You just want to live in London. If I'm honest with you, but it wouldn't surprise me. Like these kind of man, they might move abroad. It all depends, man. It's one thing wanting to leave your club. It's another thing wanting to join another. But it has to make sense. And has he shagged himself with signing that new deal? Yeah, it's got a release clause. I don't know how long he would have had left on his deal if he didn't sign that new one he signed in January, which it did seem like, just based on what you read in that. One hand, you think he was never going to leave in Jan, but then on the other, it feels like someone got in his ear or teams got in his ears and he was genuinely not forcing the move from Wolves, but if offers came, he's not going to be there. And then they probably had to sit down with him. If you want to leave at the end of the season. We'll give you some money, look after you, leave the right way, and then seek pastures new. You just never know, man. Big up, bless up everyone here. Respect is football here. I won't say anymore. Listen, everyone can do what they want to do in the chat, man. Big up everyone. That's a big thing about football I like the different races, religions, backgrounds, man, woman, whatever. We're all here because different football clubs, because Foxy's always here, Marcel's here, they're Newcastle and Liverpool respectively. We're all here for the love of football, man. Let's just be respectful, man. Cunha from Wolves to Villa. He's linked with them as well. That'd be a brave move, aren't they? Like Midlands rivals. I swear they are. But I don't think it's like Villa Brum. But it might make sense because I don't know if he'd have to move far away and whatnot. Cunha competition for Odegaard. It's true, and I'm not saying this to defend Odegaard, because if we look at their roles, Cunha, Odegaard, let's just call it a 10. Yeah, it's not really a 10, but it's a 10. You have to create, right? All the other stuff Mikel Arteta wants. Does Cunha do that? Is he able to do that? Whatever you think about it, Odegaard, and again, the more that Odegaard doesn't start performing, quote unquote, we're going to have to review that, but he's on big money. He's the captain. He's like one of the, I feel with Odegaard, it's a bit like Jorginho in that they appear at times extensions of the coach and stuff. We need cool heads from the guys. The crowd will push the ref into any bookings from any contact, and players like Vinny, Jude, and and Mbappe will try to get someone sent off, and it will come along that. Amen. Wolves is more with the baggies. Yeah, what you got? West Brom, Birmingham, Villa. West Brom, Birmingham, Villa. You got another one. West Brom, Birmingham, Villa. You got another one. I want to say Leicester because it's Midlands, but they're not all next to each other. It's like black. So they call that stuff like Black Country or something, innit? So yeah, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if Villa and West Brom got problems. West Brom and Birmingham got problems. Birmingham and Villa. I don't know how that stuff works. I'll be honest with you. But then again, big up yourself, Foxy, man. You know, Sunderland could be back in the league next season. Ooh, the gulf between Sunderland and Newcastle. You'll love it, but them derby, it could be nasty for Sunderland, you know. I like Sunderland this year, man. They got a lot of talented young players trying to come out the championship. Also, you got them man as well. The what country? Ain't it called the Black Country? I'm not making this up. Or Black County or something. Maybe I should have listened. I'm sure. West Mid is an area in the West Midlands. So I don't know, man. Warsaw's there. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just thought it was all of them. Let me type in Black Country England football clubs. The Black Country Derby is the name given to any local derby between English football teams, West Bromwich Albion, Walsall, and Wolverhampton Wanderers. All right, so Birmingham not involved in that. Villa not involved in that. Yeah, we're just calling you lot Midlands, man. You lot are all the Midlands dons, man. But we all know Arteta isn't doing nothing with Odegaard despite the form. You lot are silly, man. I think the only first teamers will be Gyökeres and Williams, though the latter wouldn't surprise me if we tried signing Son in a free. For me, listen, half of these names I'm cool with, but whether it's Gyökeres, Cunha, being silly now, Isaac, Nico Williams, Vlahovic, Martinez, this one, that one. It's when that window closes, make sure I've got a new number 9, and we're talking about what our front three looks like. Make sure I've got a left winger. Make sure I've got a centre mid. Please get me a couple of goalies. Wouldn't mind another left back. Wouldn't like stronger depth. But this is mainly for you, and I'm not expecting you to do that and everything changes, but can we get some outgoings? But it's one thing talking about outgoings. We need the stronger squad numbers, obviously quality, and we need quantity, we need quality. It overlaps, and we have to find that balance. But that's all I care about. Because if we keep talking about the same things, ultimately the same things are going to keep happening. And as we keep saying here, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So it is what it is. Yeah, yes, it is. Black country comes from the Industrial Revolution. There you have it. I knew I listened in some. It might have been. Would that be geography or history? Probably would be history. Question for DG: what's a left field signing you would want at Arsenal to make and not discussed in a rumour mill so far? Good question. Put me on the spot. Adeyemi, Ryan Cherky, what's that? Hatto as well, but that lad that went from Belgium, he plays for Ajax now. He's like 16, 17. Him, you know what? When we finish this stream, I'm going to think of more. From Buemo, I see Gyökeres holding the shirt. Black due to the sprute from the coal burnt in factories there. There you have it. It's big up in the circle with the history lesson. Now we know I represented Walsall at district level. Right, you live up there. You grew up on a farm. You're a farmer now. Crazy. Arsenal are 13th for chance to create from open play. We need to move away from Odegaard. Is that just on Odegaard though? I'm not disagreeing, but is that just on Odegaard? Or does that tell you recruitment is one thing? There's also something underlining in how Mikel Arteta can evolve from a tactical point of view. No coincidence. Games become a bit open. We're more likely to score. What's everyone's thoughts on Nypan? I reckon he isn't what we need anyways. If he goes Villa, then good luck to him. I'd have signed him just because it seems like a low-cost operation. If he seems like a good player, obviously we need time to adapt to the Premier League and all of that. If he becomes a player that we're looking at genuinely, you can play instead of Odegaard, or you can play in midfield with Odegaard, or you're a genuine Arsenal first teamer, great. If you become good and we sign you, for example, 3 million, but you're not quite our standards and you can sell you for 30, safe. Is Arteta brave enough to upgrade on Odegaard? Time will tell, man. Arsenal should sell Odegaard, get Florian Wirtz, or somehow convince Musiala or even Cunha, and you're the best team in the league by far. Odegaard isn't doing enough for you guys. It's easier said than done, man. I love Wirtz. It's going to be big finances. Musiala's signed or about to sign a new contract for them lot. In terms of the 10, I don't know, man. I don't know what Arteta wants, Nathan. I'd explore free transfers. Who, though? Who? Can't believe Walsall is getting a mention in a DG stream. We made it. Hey, big up yourself. No way you're from them farms there and that. Big up Walsall. What the hell does Walsall even look like? Hey, Walsall, I'm sure it's lit. It just seems like there's I don't know what to Walsall. What's it look like? Is it modern? Oh, fair enough. Oh, look like a place you'd go, but it's not what I thought. I thought there was farms in that. I'm showing I'm an ignorant Londoner. Warsaw is nice. That's Poland, bro. It's Poland. That's Poland. I'm sure it is, but that one there is Poland. My knocks. I'm genuinely curious. The accent is next level. Yeah, they're all up there. All the accents that are not from every accent that isn't from London sounds weird, man. Geordies, Leeds. Oh, the Leeds accent's weird as hell, man. But big you lot up. I'm more trust the. It's funny because I just feel I get a lot. Well, that's not. Is that up north? But I just feel the Northerners. I just feel they're more honest people in it, and the Liverpool youths. And then you know what? Yeah, to be fair, you got that. It's just the accents suck. Appreciate you, man. But it will look weak if we don't get Victor. I'm certain it's happening. I think it will look weak if we don't sign a striker full stop because it's rumors. Like, we actually don't know. I always think sometimes, like, if you're Arteta and you hear, like today, we've gone over apparently Arteta, first choice target is Sesko, or we hear Berto wants Gyökeres. And to be fair, that one's a bit different because Ornstein said it. These could be true. And, you know, they could have information and leaks. But do you ever wonder how many times, if you're Berto or Arteta, you see rumors around your future, players that already at the club's future, or players that you allegedly want, and you just sit there and you're like, you're drinking your morning coffee, you're like, this is absolute nonsense. Like, where did they get this from? Because there's no way of us fact finding any of this. You know, half of these articles, they say sources. Who are the sources? Who are the sources? Where are the sources? Capping, man. Absolute capping. So who knows? Coventry were not too far, but without the accent. Yeah, Coventry isn't far. Not that far from Leicester. I'm not sold on Gyökeres. I don't think there's a striker that 100% convinces all Arsenal fans. Like, I think Sesko, Vlahovic, Gyökeres, I don't know, Keane, all of them, Lautaro Martinez, we've been linked with all of them. The only one that I think every Arsenal fan is convinced about to a degree, and his only concerns could be injuries, is the one we're not going to get, which I hope to God I'm wrong, which is HIJACK. So yeah, man. Letting Partey go next season is a big mistake. His experience is vital in midfield. I think we need 2 centre mids, man. The Bradford accent needs to be illegal. I'm sorry. I big up Bradford. Seeing Arsenal are linked with Semenyo, but Bournemouth want around 67 million for him, way too much. But this is the day and age now. I like Semenyo, and I actually think Arteta would be on the obvious. I think there's a lot of transferables with the high press and all the stuff that you see with Bournemouth doing us, and obviously the philosophies between Areola and Mikel Arteta equally. Do you know how many times their keeper will just pump it and try hit the head of Semenyo? You can easily see Raya doing that. But 65 million? Really? 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 Mine, okay, man. Really? Really? 65 for Semenyo. Can get Mbuemo for a bit cheaper than that. If you're going to spend 65 on him, you might as well just bring Cunha to the carpet then. Because they only got a similar release clause. You might as well. If Havertz and Marino can get goals, then at this point, just grab one of the top dons. I hear it. Big mistake letting Partey go. Letting 2 experienced strikers go kind of jars me. Berto will sign Zubimendi, Williams, and Gyökeres. I hope so, because that's 3 areas I want addressed. I hope so. Please make sure we're hitting the like button, people. If you haven't, what's going on? But yeah, man. On that note, we've been here for 90 minutes, people. I'm back at 7:50 p.m. We're going to watch Aston Villa against Paris Saint-Germain together. There should be some clips coming out as well. Clips are always coming out on my platform. So yeah, make sure you're following and all that stuff. Big up you lot for your comments, your opinions, and all that stuff, man. You lot make the live streams what they are. So on that note, peace.
Always